What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out Gladiator Guild Manager. This is a game where you literally do what it says on the tin. This is one of those games where you are a Lannister, and you're running a Ludus in a fantasy world full of orcs and knights and all that kind of fun stuff. And you have to manage your fighters, bring in wealth, upgrade your buildings, find new unit types, equip them all, kind of customize their loadouts, set up their level ups and things of that nature to optimize their chances of success as you dive on into a brutal and bloody world. Along the way, there's going to be side factions that want to hire your Ludus and your retinue of gladiators to take care of problems for them, and along the way you'll kind of get involved in political intrigue and stuff like that while trying to keep your head above water financially. If after watching this video you wanted to get the game for yourself, it's coming out in early access this week. You can look down below in the description, and as always I'll have a link for you down there. You'll also find a link to my Discord, my Twitch stream, and all my other various social media, just in case you wanted to hang out with me in person or give me your thoughts. I do hang out in the Discord pretty much all day, every day. I'm always passively keeping an eye on it. And then for the Twitter, you kind of have to have one of those when you're an internet guy. I don't really care about Twitter, but I have to have one. And then, of course, the Twitch stream, I'm live pretty much every day of the week, and I tend to play games that I just featured on the channel so that we can dive a little bit deeper on in and take a look more in depth instead of just the 30 minutes that you normally get. So let's dive on in and start a new game. I'm going to leave everything on the default settings right now, but there are things that you can fiddle with to make the game more interesting. You can add permanent gladiator deaths. You can start with random gladiator buildings instead of the standard layout of things that you normally start out with, just to make things a little bit more difficult if that's what you want to do. But for right now, since I think most people are going to dive in straight on the default stuff, that's precisely what we're going to do for right now. I don't need the tutorial. I played this game back in a prologue a long time ago, so I have a vague idea of what's going on.
New guild owner, I hear.
I am.
Welcome to Deadwood.
Well, thank you.
Turns out he didn't have the stomach for this kind of thing, but left a few buildings we can make use of. Take a look around. Anyway, I'm Slit, your guild assistant. Let me give you a heads up. Gladiator championships are organized at the start of each month. Then there's the old arena named the Ring of Death. We can join the action there each week. They organize a variety of different fight types. And lastly, the Deadwoods has its fair share of problems. Bandits, beasts, feral undead. So expect to be contacted and asked for deadly gladiator services outside of the arena.
Okay. So now that we've gotten our little intro to what it is we're going to be doing from Slen, let's take a look at the UI of the game. I do very much like the UI of this game. I think it all fits, and it's very, very colorful, and it's all on theme. I do think that a unified art style is very, very important for pretty much any game, and it's one of those, general rules of game design that I think gets ignored a lot of the time, is, everything should kind of look similar when it comes to your UI, your characters. They should all have kind of a unified art direction. This game knocks that out of the park. In the top left, we've got the factions, we've got the people, we've got the Baroness, and we've got the Necromancer. Those are the people that we kind of want to keep on our side, and they're people that are going to kind of be targeting each other as we go through the game, trying to kind of gain supremacy and be on top. And you can kind of choose to be a hero of the people and raise the red flag over the center of the square, or you can stand up for the aristocracy, or you can help the Necromancer do whatever it is he's been doing out in the graveyard with all those corpses. So anyways, we also have a timeline up here. Different events are going to happen on the timeline based on where you're at in the game. Things like fights in the arena, championships, refreshes on shops, things of that nature are all going to pop in on this timeline. We can basically turn it on whenever we want. We've got one building available to us right now, and that comprises other buildings. So we have the guild. The guild has a tavern inside of it. It allows us to hire special gladiators. Okay, so it'll be relevant at certain events. We've got a barracks over here that's going to allow us to get knights. They are defensive characters. We can get ourselves a berserker from the orcs, from our berserker hut, and then we have an archery range, which allows us to get elvish archers. In addition, we have a supplementary building down here called the Revival Temple. It brings our characters back to life whenever they get knocked out. You can't turn on permadeath at the beginning, like I said. I don't know how this building functions if you turn on permadeath or if the building remains relevant. It's something that I haven't tested around with. We can also upgrade each of these buildings to help people get extra XP in fights. We can upgrade the main buildings so we can get more gladiator slots. We can get more slots to store items on this side. This is where we can also see a synopsis of how much we've got to pay our gladiators every single month. So this is kind of the central repository for stuff you need to know. But at the beginning of the game, we got to do one thing, and one thing alone. We got to get some gladiators. I would highly recommend you not recruit level 1 gladiators at the beginning. As far as I can tell, every single fight in the game is level 2 or higher. So I would strongly recommend getting level 2 gladiators if you can afford it. So we've got a archer over here, Ayara the Greedy. Yeah, that sounds good. She's got a perk that makes it so that when she damages an enemy, she drains health. That's pretty cool. We have Tomas the Colossus. He must be better than everybody else somehow because he costs a fortune. Okay. We also have other knights over here, though, that are much more affordable. So we have Twisted Ankle on him, and this guy's got broken ribs. I'd rather not deal with the broken ribs, Dolgun the Skull Smasher, and Ragok the Gritty. Let's go with Ragok, I guess. Yeah, let's go with Ragok, and those are going to be like our 2 starting gladiators. Let's take them in for a fight. So we've got a jolly good 2v2 over here with the piercing of flesh and the rending of bone. Let's see if we can eke out a win and get ourselves some cash, shall we? All right, so we've got 2 knights. Now, this might be a little bit tricky because our orc has, like, no defense whatsoever. He does have a decent HP pool, but, like, he's going to kind of be tanking against 2 dudes that are, like, the alpha tanks. Hopefully, our archer can get some DPS work done here. It is an auto battle. You can go through if you want to, and you can take a look over here, and you can give priority points, which forces people to attack things that you want them to attack. But for now, ooh, we might eke this out. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Oh, she's fighting in melee. We're done. I thought she was going to keep point blanking with arrows. She's not even trying to get away right now. I wish she had like a dodge roll or something that would help her like get out of the way and space out these dudes. But these beginning fights are going to be really, really rough on you. It's kind of a balancing issue with the early access. The beginning fights are the hardest ones in the game because the enemy is just like stacked. And it's completely random. They're always level 2. They're always randomized. You never know quite what you're going to get. And a lot of the time, it's going to be a fight that, like, hard counters. See, this is the same fight again. We keep getting hard countered. There's really nothing we can do against this fight right here. We don't have the DPS to break through their armor effectively. So I'm predicting we're going to have the same outcome or worse this time around. Looks like worse, in fact. They blocked every single arrow all the way across the arena. It's okay. We'll just keep taking our L's until we get a fight that's actually winnable. Let's just keep it running for right now. Now, we do have some events over on the side here.
A pack of feral ghouls roam the forest near the village. I'd like you to
dispose of them before further blame is foisted upon me. One thing that I would do is this menu right here is at conflict with itself, so it says to click down here to skip the dialogue. The problem is that click right there will sometimes hit one of these buttons and initiate some kind of like dialogue that you didn't know what you clicked. I would definitely recommend they make it so you can basically click anywhere in order to make that happen, or at least deactivate the buttons or make them like fade in or something like that so that you don't. I've noticed I tested the game for about 30 minutes, and when I'm skipping dialogue, I've noticed I very, very frequently accidentally hit a button just by clicking like once, basically. And so anyways, that's one of those things that I've noticed. Let's go ahead and fight some ghouls then. I mean, it can't go any worse than all of our arena fights have been going. I don't even know how tough a ghoul is, so I guess we'll find out. You seem to be in solid shape. There we go. We actually eked out a fight, dude. Somebody might actually level up and get stronger.
excellent work. There's nothing worse than cleaning up after another's mess.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I got to select my rewards so I can get... There's a default reward over here, and then we get to choose something. I'm going to take the bow, I think. Can I pick all of these? Or is it just one from each? Okay, it's one from each category. Gotcha. So I'll take the iron. I'll take the bow. And then that's fine. Apparently, she's now happier with us. As far as gear goes, I do think it's a good idea for us to put a bow on here. And it looks like that did raise up our accuracy and our damage by about 7 points. She's going to need a little bit more training before she's ready to rock. But I think these dudes do have, like, skill trees and stuff that we can play around with. All right. Start the game off real fast. And then as soon as our orc has healed up, we will consider going for another arena fight. Maybe we'll get something that's not double knights. We got double knights again. We're not going to win that one, so I'm just going to skip it. Like, that's like the hard counter for our team, and it keeps coming up, unfortunately. And, like, it shouldn't. Like, statistically, we should not have gotten, like, 5 fights in a row that are double knight. But for whatever reason, we did. I'm going to skip the championship for right now. There we go. We definitely have no chance in the championship. The championship is like all level 5 fights. It looks like there's a gladiator discount over here. Bandits are taking over the graveyard.
Drunk bandits have beat up 2 guards and claimed ownership of the graveyard arena. I need you to take them down before they do any more harm.
Okay. Can I grab a gladiator real fast? These guys are all like discounted for right now. So if I can get like, I don't know, somebody cheap. Yeah, like Charlotte. Exactly. Like, we get Charlotte, and then we go back, and then bandits are taking over the graveyard. Yeah, we can go ahead and give it a try. It's like a 3v4, but it looks like they're weaker than we are, so we might be able to do something here. I think the archer is going to be kind of pivotal to making this thing happen. We'll go ahead and kind of spool them up like so, and hopefully he can tank for a little bit before this gets too far out of control. Unfortunately, my archer is missing all of her shots right now. There we go. Okay, we got absolutely starched by the bandits. Fair enough. That did not turn out the way that I expected it to turn out, but hey.
The peasants will have to keep listening to their endless howling.
Alright, well, I mean, it is what it is. I can't seem to get many victories under my belt right now. We seem to be having like a real hard time.
Some half-wit peasants have blocked the graveyard, preventing my necromancers from performing their work. I beseech you, gladiators, to clear the way.
Yeah, I'm down for a little bit of peasant smashing. Sure. They might be getting, you know, sometimes they get a little bit too big for their breeches, okay? And peasants need to be taught that gladiators will roll through town, spraying them with all kinds of rounds. There we go. Hey, everybody survived. We got a little bit of XP. She went up to level 3. Now we should be able to gain some form of purchase over the enemy. I wanted to get, let's take the gold because I've got to pay my gladiators pretty soon and we're kind of like ridiculously broke. And then I would say let's grab the armor for our orc. All right, so let's jump on in here. We'll give him a little bit more HP. That sounds good. And then for her, she has leveled up. So it looks like we get to allocate some points here. I would say, how many points do I get? Looks like it's just the one. Oh, no, never mind. It's like a bunch of points. Can I undo that? Or are those like locked in now? All right, well, her damage just got like a 40% increase. She's up to 163. I dumped everything into agility. I may dump everything into movement the next time she levels so that she moves real fast and she can get around the enemy. He hasn't leveled yet, so we're not going to worry about him. But let's take a look and see what the arena's got for us. See if it's anything like roughly achievable. This is actually a much better matchup. I think that if we kind of square things away down south this way, and we tell them to kind of like fight, I think we may be in better shape here. I just need you to tank for me. Okay, it looks like the archer's going to be the only one that survives this long term enough to get anything. But when you win a fight, you get like a little box that you can open. It's going to have some like gear inside of it. It's going to have, you know, some random consumables, things of that nature. I don't know if that's a permanent 3 strength, but if that's a permanent 3 strength, I'm actually pretty stoked about that. Throw that on the orc. Oh, it's a consumable, so he's going to like use it in combat. Gotcha. Okay, I thought it was just going to be like a flat buff that I could throw on somebody. There is something going on at the end of the month over here. Don't know what all that redness means, but it worries me. I don't know. My general experience in life is like if there's a lot of redness, you should probably see a doctor, you know? I feel like our orc can take this guy. Let's put him in there. If he loses, it's okay. We'll give him a little shoulder rub. We'll be like, "It's okay, bud." You know, we'll kind of get him to the point where he can understand that, like, winning is not everything. Sometimes, like, we learn the most through losing, but it looks like he absolutely starched that knight. So in a 1v1, it looks like orc beats knight in 1v1 at a similar level, but, like, if there's multiple knights, they tend to just bog this guy down. Now, we've got another strength potion right there. We've got a little bit more money. I'll take it all. It seems like we're finally trying to develop some momentum here, and that pleases me. Oh, it's just, okay, so I thought maybe they could use it at the beginning of every fight, but doesn't look like it. Bandits are taking over the graveyard arena. That one, we got beat up on that last one, dude. That kind of worries me.
Interrupting our raising rituals. Have you ever seen what a half-baked ghoul looks like? We had to bash his demented brains in as a mercy. Now, I would like you to do the same to those peasants.
Okay. None of the rewards look altogether that great for what I'm trying to do. I mean, the boots are okay for my archer. We do need XP, though, so maybe I'll just, I just can't turn down an opportunity to slap around some serfs. I can't help myself. It's an addiction that I've developed. Like, every now and again, you just gotta smack around some serfs, man. And, like, we've got them so outskilled, and everybody's getting XP. It's kind of like a feeder fight to make our arena career much more successful. I'm okay with it. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab the money. And I think I'm going to grab a pair of the boots. The peasants are not happy with me at all. They're deeply upset. We've been doing a lot of peasant killing lately. It might be an okay idea for us to, like, lean back off of just absolutely slapping the pink off some peasants for a little bit and just kind of like reform, but maybe later. So he's melee. Like with all this stuff right here, I assume that this scales, oh, it's agility. So what's the difference? We don't get like a description of what this stuff does, but we can tell right here. So like punch scales with strength and agility, although more so with agility, which is kind of odd. I thought this guy would for sure be like a strength character. Okay, so he's got one ability that scales with strength, and he's got all the rest of his abilities scale with agility. So we'll kind of do something like that right there just to make him a little bit more sturdy, I think. And now that we've got a little bit more oomph to put down in kind of our action plan, I think we've got a much better chance of winning. With the elf, I'd like to give you the boots so that you get that extra stamina so that we don't have any downtime spent just kind of sitting around. I don't know if we can take the bandits in the arena, dude. We got like beat up last time pretty bad.
I need you to take them down before they do any more harm. They came to...
All right, well, let's see if we can do it. I mean, I know we got absolutely blitzed on the last one and annihilated, but we have leveled up a little bit, and we are a little bit tougher than we were previously. And so, like, I don't know if I want to fight from, like, down here. I do like the way that the characters rotate depending on where they put it down in the battlefield. That's really, really nice. That's one of those little features that, like, you don't really notice it until you notice it. And then once you notice it, you're like, oh, that's nice, dude. Hey, we pulled it through. Very nice. Yeah, I think it's just all about getting those first couple levels under your belt.
Peasants will be able to sleep peacefully tonight.
Okay. Well, hopefully that gave us, I mean, it gave us reputation with her. But I'm going to take, let's get some money rocking. And then it looks like our reputation is up to friendly with the Baroness. It's never a bad idea to be on good terms with the nobility, all right? They can pull strings and stuff. Over here, we can make it so that our knights level up faster if we got enough to level up that. I think, can I do anything with the house? It, like, increases, okay, it just gives us special gladiators. Well, then let's upgrade our item slots. Let's upgrade our gladiator slots a little bit. And then maybe I'll upgrade you just to make you a little bit nicer. I do like that the graphic changes right there. I would like to see kind of a visual So I'm always a big fan of kind of like a bird's eye view of your base. And so what I think they could potentially do here with the UI is if you put all the upgrades in a tab on the side, so this slides over and then reopens and it's got all the building upgrades, and then in a central panel right here, you could have all the buildings and whatnot, and you could place them where you want to place them on like a grid and sort of like customize your layout a little bit and sort of introduce a mini game of building Tetris on in there where you've got to kind of plan and organize where things go. I think there'd also be like some, for the early access, the developers did ask for suggestions. It'd be cool if the buildings had interactions with one another as well. So, like, if you put a berserker hut connected to a tavern or whatever, you know what I mean, like adjacent or connected by, like, little channels that are inside your base, there's, like, some bonus that it gives to the berserker hut, so on and so forth, stuff like that. I always tend to look for things like that when it comes to kind of the depth and the replayability of games. Because I think little systems like that tend to be very, very helpful. We can't afford another gladiator. I don't know if there's anybody that we want. I don't know what other buildings are available, actually. Can I build something new? So we need 35 stone for a fire tower. Okay, so remind me to take stone if we get any missions or anything, and I'll see what I can do. Let's just take another fight. We've already done our 2v2s, a few versus one. Okay, it looks like I've tapped out all my level 6. Oh, no, I don't like that at all. That's concerning. Like, I think we've got it. Like, his health does seem to be going down at sort of an acceptable rate. And honestly, that was actually a giant XP up for everybody. I'm sort of curious if our knight leveled up off of that one. He's kind of like behind everybody else, and I'd like him to kind of play catch up so I can actually heal people if I have that potion right there too. So that'll be nice as kind of a contingency plan. My knight did indeed level up. Let's take a look at his abilities. So that scales with agility, and that scales with strength. Okay, so we probably want to go kind of like even mix between strength and agility. So we'll go like... We'll go 2 agility, 1 strength, and we'll go with 2 health drops right there because I have noticed that he's like a little bit fragile. It's not due to his broken ribs. His broken ribs are kind of like negatively affecting his stamina. I was sort of hoping we could replace this guy because he was just kind of a stand-in for some of the side events that we've been drawing. But like, I don't know. It looks like we've actually got a sale on the item market too. Is there anything in here that would be good? So projectile damage against blessed targets is increased by 30. We've got movement, speed, and stamina right there. We've got a knockout glove. Melee attack knocks out the enemy for 5 seconds. That actually seems really, really strong. That seems like it could definitely be like a force multiplier as you're going through the game. We've got like simple armor and stuff over here too. I like the idea of having crowd control though, so I think I'll buy that. And honestly, we can afford it all, so I'm going to take everything. Over here, he's got 4 slots ready to go. All right, so he's got a little bit more HP so that he can stand up to the heat a little while longer when he's in the crucible of carefully planned war. And then he's also got the ability to CC one of our enemies right now. If you've never played an MMO before and you don't know what CC means, CC is crowd control. We can take a look at the championship, but I can't guarantee that it's going to go very good. Like, I don't know how strong the enemy is going to be. So it looks like we've got a 4 and a 1 right there. We've got 3 orcs. I get 3 guys. Okay. I think the 3 orcs is our best bet. But it looks like you do get higher quality rewards depending on the difficulty multiplier that you decide to fight underneath. That's a 3v2. I bet we could take this one, dude. I bet we can. Did I level you up? All right, so what I want for you... Get a little bit of movement, and then just a little bit more nuke power. All right, so you're going to be in the back, just trashing ass and showing off and giving class. We do seem to be fighting pretty effectively, and she one-tapped their archer over there, so that's just beautiful. We've got a couple of 3 fights over here. These actually seem pretty easy. Fair enough, I guess. This seems like a slaughter, but... Get everybody in line behind the knight since he's got the shield block. I've got a sneaking suspicion that the archer, was going to drop her before we even got over there. But, oh, he leveled up. Very nice. Okay, so let's go with... something like that looks good. I think 2 agility, 1 strength, 2 health on each level up's a good idea. I would like to see... So, like, it's kind of weird that they start with all these attacks at the beginning of the game. One thing that I'd probably recommend is that to give the game a little bit more feeling of development, that they come up with some kind of, like, World of Warcraft-style talent tree for each of these characters. One that focuses on strength, one that focuses on agility for the orc, and one that focuses on tanking and stamina. Likewise for the knight, and then, like, for the archer, you would have one that focuses on poisons, and like kind of damage over time effects. You have one that focuses on direct damage, and then you would have one that kind of focuses on being able to move around the battlefield a lot and trap the enemy with like nets and things of that nature. Like, I do think that developing these classes into kind of interesting branches that you've got to pick and choose what you want them to do, and then you could put all the strength increases and whatnot in passives in that tree, so that like they're branching off of like the main abilities, and then at the beginning of the game these guys would start with like just their attack. And then from there, you could actually pick and choose which of these that you want along the way. I do think that that would be a little bit more interactive way to play the game. We'll take this one right here. That's fine. I mean, I've got a feeling she's going to kind of get one-tapped. There we go. Oh, he just barely survived, dude. He hung on by the skin of his teeth. All right, he leveled up, though, so this is going great for our level ups. Things are going fantastically well right now. So he's got strength, and he's got agility balancing. So we were going like 2, 1, and then 2 over here. And then once I feel like he's not really taking that much damage anymore, we'll start maybe putting something into stamina to make up for the fact that he's got those broke ribs. I do like that the tournaments are customizable, so you can take the fights that you want to take for the tournaments. That way, depending on where your development is at, you're not locked out of the tournaments. Like, you just kind of got to get a couple of levels under your belt, and then you can do the tournaments. But you're not locked out to, like, level 5 or level 10 as though it's some, like, great championship thing. I think... Let's try this one over here. I'm getting ballsy here at the end. I want one of those purple packs. Yeah, he's already down, dude. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now we've got a pretty strong core. There's another fight. What are we up against? So 1, 1, and 5. I'm actually not that concerned about that. 1, 1, and 5 doesn't seem that scary to me. We'll just kind of line these up like so. Yeah, like we're playing the old rope-a-dope game right now. We've actually got some serious knuckles going on, man. They wanted the heat. They wanted the heater until they found out that we run the skillet. All right, so we've got a health potion. We've got a bow right there and a little bit of money. And then we've got another bow. We've got a carrot that increases your movement speed. And then we've got some metal on that side. Yeah, go ahead and collect it all up. Not a bad yield for our first tournament. So does that unlock, like, chunks of the map? Oh, it did. Okay, so you've got to win these tournaments, and that's what's going to unlock the map. Gotcha. I get what the flow is now. All right, so we've got an apple over here. That gives him stamina. Can he not equip that right there? What can he equip? He can put on a bow. Oh, it's a consumable. Gotcha. Ew, I don't care about consumables. I don't tend to use consumables in games, man. That's just like how I live my life. I can give him, apparently you can have multiple bows as well. I would recommend that maybe they split this up, and in fact, what I'd really like to see is that each of these characters, I don't know how much of a paper doll they are, but it would be cool that when you put armor on your characters, so they start out like in very basic form with just like a loincloth or like a bra or whatever, you throw armor on them, and then they get a little bit more complex. You throw like a higher tier armor on them, they look even more complex. I would like to see the development of the character reflected based on how long you've been playing from the graphical implements that are actually like in the game. That's one of those things that I think part of the fun of like an RPG or part of the fun of like a management game is watching your character kind of grow and develop and become the gladiator you wish they were at the beginning of the game and start to sort of manifest that cool style as they get stronger and stronger. Oh, we need a level 2 archery range for that. Okay, so it also unlocks gear slots. Gotcha. Archery range is ready to go. We could do it. The other option is we could get frost mages and fire mages, which sounds pretty badass. If we get a little bit more stone, we can hire a priestess, and I'm assuming that that's a healer. And it looks like, oh, there's dogs over here? Yeah, dude, I want dogs. Let's have one of those. It's not even a question. Where the dogs at? Oh, do I have to wait for a refresh? I'm gonna do it right now. There's a doggy right there, dude. We got a doggy. Oh, no, the doggy has a bad shoulder. What did somebody do to that doggy? It gave him a bad shoulder, man. Oh, we need to take him to the veterinarian. That ain't right. Okay, well, with what we've got right now, a lot of his stuff scales with agility anyways, so we'll throw that in there for now, and then we'll worry about it a little bit later. So we've done most of the fights that we can do over here. This is one of our gladiators against a bunch of their gladiators. I don't feel great about this matchup. I feel like this is going to go really poorly. I do feel like numbers really matter in this game. Since I can start wherever I want, I'm going to go with the knight on this one because he's got the shield block. Oh, she's faster. He's just getting kited. Oh, he's failing his shield blocks. No! Got him right in the butt cheek, man. Everybody's a gangster till they catch an arrow to the sphincter, and then nobody wants to play games anymore. Feels bad. All right, well, it should be refreshed over here. Apparently, he leveled up in some capacity right there, too, and I didn't even realize it. All right, so we'll go for a little bit of that. I did notice that his stamina was kind of struggling in combat, so maybe we even out what he lost right there from his... Yeah, we even out what he lost right there from the Broken Ribs perk, and then we'll just kind of see how it plays from there. Gladiators have refreshed. Let's see if there's a doggy that doesn't have a busted shoulder this time around. There's still a doggy with a busted shoulder. I wish there was not a doggy with a busted shoulder. Apparently, at some point, we can create new battle choices over here, but I don't know if we, like, have to knock those out.
The manor, they won't give it a rest. We will have to spill more peasants' blood and teach them the price of interfering with matters of the church.
You're from the church? Nah, dude. I don't think I'm gonna kill any more peasants today.
The High Necromancer's rumor whisperers hiding in the village. I need you to take care of him.
I mean, I do kind of want to fix my reputation with the peasants. I feel sort of bad about how things have gone. Like, I spent a lot of time peasant punching in this episode, and I don't feel good about it. I feel like peasant punching makes me a bad person. Like, they don't have anything. They just have, like, thatch roof cottages. That's all that they have. Thatch roof cottages and turnips, man. And, like, I've been knocking the tuber out of these guys for far too long. That's a pretty sweet necklace. I'll take it. I'll hold on to it till we get a mage or something anyways. I need to dig up some more wood around here, too. These 1v few fights, man. Why is it always archers? It's always archers. I don't know who I should put in. Like, I sort of feel like if I, like, dogpile right there... Like, maybe we get some early damage off, but, like, he's not blocking half the stuff they're throwing at him. There we go. She's out of stamina, so he might actually be able to, like, sort of flummox his way through this. Oh, thank God, dude. I need to get that fight knocked out so we can get back to normal fights. Oh, really? You get a purpo for that. Okay, I'll take a purpo. We got health 120, strength 2. That's not bad. I'll take all that. Yeah. And then we've got an agility potion right there just in case we need that extra oomph in future fights. This is Gladiator Guild Manager. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day and endeavor to give you my thoughts about what a game is doing right, what a game is doing wrong. In the case of Gladiator Guild Manager, I do think the beginning of the game with like the level 2 fights, it's a little bit of a hill to get over. I don't think many people will bounce off of it. They'll just assume that they're like doing something wrong. And the fact that you can recruit level 2 gladiators from the beginning of the game, I think is key right there. I think a lot of new players are going to grab the level 1 gladiators first to save money and then realize all the fights are level 2 fights. And then you're stuck waiting for events to level them on up or whatever. But like honestly, I don't think it's that major of an issue. We managed to get through it just fine, even though it seemed pretty tough at the beginning of the game. And I'm not particularly good at video games. Love the art style, like the design. Already gave my thoughts about what they can do to kind of like add to it and make the game a little bit more immersive. But that's all I got for you for right now. See y'all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the Indie Skillet. Bye.